Hi, thank you for tuning in. In this video, I'm calling it Fields of Consciousness and also Triggers, navigating through different triggers, right? So, where I live, there's beautiful fields, many different fields. This is a wheat field. And throughout this video, I'll be changing the pictures so you can see some of the different fields. And when we're dealing with different people in our everyday life, everyone is vibrating at different vibrations. Everyone is living and experiencing their life in the way that they perceive it, and also in different levels of consciousness and awareness. So, as some may have a little bit more awareness, where others won't have that much awareness. Some of these people, especially maybe family members, can bring up the triggers. When we're being triggered, it's giving us an opportunity to really understand ourselves more clearly and also understand what has happened to us, as not in a victim consciousness point of view, but more in a way of, dang, I have been projected on, noticing these projections that you have been projected on, or maybe fragmentations that happen and being manipulated by other family members. And this also often happens to a lot of empaths or extra sensitive souls that have came and incarnated, and family members, brothers, sisters, aunts, cousins, or even school, have projected and saying, oh, well, they're this and they're that. And then you're unconsciously living at a state where you're being manipulated from. So, right, you really didn't know who you were. Now, coming into more awareness and more consciousness, so the more conscious we are, the more we are here and able to live in our true divine essence. And we're living out more of who we are in a more conscious awareness state. When we basically, you gain your power back. So when you're gaining your power back and you're understanding the wisdom that we all have, so every gateway that we go through, every portal, every initiation phase that each and every one of us are going through is giving us an opportunity to step more fully into the understanding of who we are. It is our right as children, child of God, that we gain that sovereignty, we gain that knowledge, we gain that wisdom. You'll notice as time goes on and the more clear you get within yourself that, these players, they have played a very important role for us to understand and gain the understanding of who we truly are. They've also helped us to know what we don't want, and also for us to receive the wisdom and the understanding that we are here living our best life and we're doing the best that we can. And the more aware and the more awake we become in our own consciousness, in our own field of consciousness, the more we are able to see the roles that all of these players have had in our lives, right? So if a family member has projected onto you something and you ended up living your life in that way, that this happens. I'm mentioning this because it's happened to me and it's happened to a lot of empaths. If you're empathic, more than likely you've had, a narcissist in the family that tried to coax you in believing that you were something that you're not. This is very common. This is a very common trait that happens. We want to thank them. I mean, it's nothing to really, hold against anybody. It's nobody's fault. It's all part of our progress. It's all part of us learning and understanding who we are, where we came from, and understanding the game way more clearly. And as we are, gaining the more knowledge, the more wisdom within every initiation phase, these initiation phases, they are different for each and every one of us. Sometimes the initiations are in the dream state. Those of you who are dreamers, you will have to navigate through different realms of consciousness within the dream state. These I kind of call like dream weavers, as the dreams kind of weave in and we're understanding and navigating through this thing. It could be very tricky energy. The energy and the initiation phases that we go through at different times, and different levels of consciousness. So first, we start here in the 3D realm, if you will, and you're gaining your synchronicities through repetitive numbers, right? So that's one phase. And then you go up your levels, and then you're at a different phase of consciousness. You're understanding more, you're expanding more. Then you go up another level, and then maybe you're having to navigate through lower entities, attachments, whatever the case may be. Maybe your consciousness is opening up to that, where you could understand more and how to clear these things out. Then maybe you're navigating through your initiations through the dream state, and that feels like a whole different classroom. It feels like this whole different type of realm where we are noticing more and more, yes, we are multidimensional beings living here, and we're experiencing these higher states of consciousness, pulling in the awareness and living our best life with our wisdom and our knowledge here in the physical. So let me kind of break that down for you a little bit. What I mean by that is when we are ascending, gaining our wisdom, consciousness, and then we descend to bring in the knowledge here on the earth. Not everyone is going to understand this right away, but eventually you'll get there. So those of you who are listening, if you're like, one of my cousins, she's like, I listen to you, but I don't understand what you're talking about. That's okay. Like, one day you will understand. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, one day it'll happen. Okay. So every initiation phase that we're going through, we must navigate through like trickster energy. Those of you who don't understand what trickster energy is, trickster energy can, play. They're very manipulative players. We've all had these tricksters in our lives, in the physical. And as I'm talking about this, you may, put a face to the word trickster in your life. You may have been a trickster in somebody's life, or portrayed as one for somebody. Or, you recognize who the tricksters are in your life. This is, with understanding trickster energy, you're going to understand your initiations a lot more fully and completely. When we understand the characters and everyone that they bring, the energies that they bring, their attachments that they have, everyone has attachments on them, and what they carry, and the state of consciousness that they're at, the level of awareness, this way of us looking at this trajectory, way of us gaining this type of understanding, helps us to navigate these realms of consciousness, because eventually what will happen is the more you unlock, the more you ascend, the more you come into your soul essence, the more these initiation phases are going to be putting you through like almost like a test, if you will. So your initiation, you go through a bridge or a gateway, and then you are having to meet with like different types of characters, one being trickster energy. The trickster energy can come through different people, in different scenarios, right? So as we're navigating through this, and they use different tactics, right? They use very different tactics in this. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Some people have called this, they have a gamer, or they have an attachment on them, and it's bleeding through them. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't really matter. if you want to put that on, label it as that. I'm just talking about the different energies that present themselves to us at different times, and getting really clear on what it is that you're working through and what initiation phase that you're at certain levels of consciousness. So at every gateway that we go through, and we pass the bridge, we pass our test, we pass our bridge, there's more wisdom, there's more understanding, and more spiritual gifts that we come into. And we're able to harness this. As we are navigating through this is why it's really important for us to be very centered and aware in who and what we are, strengthening our core essence. As we strengthen our core essence and understanding who God is in our life and within us, and what we stand for, integrity, respect, honor, we will be asked to pass these initiation gates, and each time we're stepping more up into that I am presence. I am this, I am strong, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am respectful, and I am respected. So every gateway is giving us an opportunity as we're passing through these, trickster energies or whatever type of energies, manipulation energies, mind control energies. Every single gateway that you become more aware of the game that you're playing, basically, right? It gives you a up level. You gives you a muchness. Your muchness levels up, and you become more of who you are. And this can be too much for certain people. Certain people won't be able to understand what you're talking about. So yes, you're gonna have to understand who you're around and have compassion for them. Some of us very much love our people. They very much love who we are around and who God has blessed us with. Some of them will be triggering us. Some of them will be, projecting onto us. Well, you're this in my life, and this is who you are, or they have an idea of who we were in the past. I have this with one of my aunts. She keeps on bringing up the past and who I was, and if this were to happen, this and this. Oh, I don't mean to make you mad, but da 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 da. Right? So she would be considered to me more of that like trickster type of manipulation energy that would like to project a scenario onto me or paint a picture of who I am, but this is a great doorway, a great opportunity for me and whoever else is going through something similar like this, for us to really own our newness. Own the fact that no, that's not going to happen anymore. It may have happened in the past when I was young and didn't know better. But now that I know, now that I'm more spiritually aware, awake, and evolving into who I truly am more and more, those games, those tactics are not going to work anymore. So we're outgrowing a lot of these people. We're outgrowing a lot of these tactics, and either, whoever is going to come along the path, they're either going to evolve or fall off. So if they choose to evolve with you, they'll have to go through their own initiation phases as well within themselves. And sometimes this isn't always a choice point for certain people, because certain people are required to be in our lives. It is written for them to be in our lives. So they'll be going through their own initiation phases in order to, be around the essence. And sometimes people need to take breaks, go into their own ways of being. So the consciousness here that I really want to talk about, the different fields of consciousness, and a lot of these fields, a lot of these pictures you're going to see, or that you saw, there's different fields. In some of the fields, they will produce the grain. So this is the first field that was pictured, and it has a wheat and barley. So this grain can produce for many people. Many people can feed off of this. Many people can eat. Pretty much anybody can eat off of that. Some people are going to be allergic to it. Some people can't have wheat or this type of grain, but most people can. In this field, I'm not sure if you could see it, but this is a cotton field. It's not fully cotton yet. The flowers are just blooming. And these purple flowers, you can't see them, but they will bloom into cotton. We all wear cotton. We all can use some of that, right? So all of us can gain from this. And this field you can't really gain from this field. This field's full of weeds, but it does provide shelter for animals. And there are little animals that are having shelter provided for them in this field. So we're like those fields. We are a lot like these fields. A lot of people can gain knowledge and wisdom just from our energy, from our consciousness, from being around us. Our light can provide for many, many people. Some people will be allergic to it. Some people can't be around it. But most people will be able to really benefit from it. This field right here, even though it's not really useful for food or anything, it still is useful it provides shelter for animals, little animals, and other little critters, but there's nothing that's not sustainable, right? Not everybody can feed off of it. We can't eat the grains that's there. Not everybody can. So a lot of our consciousness is like that. You want to strive for your consciousness to be in the highest consciousness, the highest vibration that you possibly can, so you can feed multiple. Just like Christ, he turned the fish in two, three fish. He multiplied that to feed a whole, crowd of people. And his consciousness was that fish that he multiplied. He gained the understanding of consciousness, of God consciousness, Christ consciousness, so he could feed not just who he can relate to, but everybody. He fed multiple people. A lot of people didn't like him. And this is what we're going to be seeing that's going to be happening through us. The example that Christ led. We're here to feed many. Not everyone's going to like it. Not everyone's going to get it or understand it. Some people will try to manipulate. Some people will stab us in the back. This is where we're taught forgiveness and having mercy for each other. Gaining these higher awarenesses and traveling up and down those stages of consciousness, that Jacob's ladder. We're going to travel up, gain consciousness, and come back down into the earthly realms, into, maybe a more denser, energetic, slow down. We'll have to really slow down. Understanding this pattern, understanding the awakening process where we ascend and then we descend, and we understand and we gain more wisdom and understanding by the different obstacles and people and initiations that we're going through. As we are navigating through this and gaining more awareness and how to slow down, because trust me, when you're up in those higher states of consciousness, higher states of awareness, it feels good. Everything goes super quickly. You can see things. You could have premonitions in the future that are beautiful. It's beautiful. You see the beauty that is going to happen. But then you have to come back down and deal with whatever it is in your 3D world, if you will, and see, okay, I have to talk to this person. This person I need to set up some clear boundaries with. I have to say no more to this pattern of relationship. If you want to ride with me, let's ride, let's go, but you got to show up for me. A lot of us are going to be going through this and asking people to, I love you, but please show up for me more fully. And, if you can't, I understand, I still love you. But when you're ready, I'm here. So a lot of us are going to be going through these initiation phases, and it gives us an opportunity to speak our truth, for one. It gives us an opportunity to understand the multiple levels of consciousness, to understand these gifts that are coming in that are so profound. You'll notice my channel is going to be changing more because my gifts are changing more. It took me a little bit of time to understand the new wisdom that I'm here to carry and to bring. So with that, it's like understanding all the different realms that we travel through. All of this. I am guided to create a healing course to go more fully into this. Those of you who are interested in understanding, okay, the different levels of consciousness and how we navigate through them, what tools work for navigating this next level of consciousness, because we will be going through it. If you're not going through it now, you will be going through it in your future. This is a whole different game where we're really understanding the players, the entities on multiple levels, in the physical and in the astral levels. So in your dream states, when you're traveling through different levels of consciousness in the dream states, and then also learning how to navigate the different dimensions, if you will. So when we're navigating these different aspects of ourselves and learning how the energetics work in each plane, this is key. It's key. It's key for us to understanding within ourselves, and the higher wisdom and knowledge that is really pouring through. A lot of us hold ancient keys, ancient wisdom that really needs to be unlocked for you. You need it to be your highest component that God has created you to be. Knowing who God is within yourself. I am super connected to Christ. I will always be super connected to Christ. It's just what I carry. I have seen a couple of videos that were sent to me that it's time for us that are holding these key codes of Christ consciousness, that walk and talk the talk. So, and I'm one of those. I don't just, and my teachers always tell me, you don't just walk the walk, you or talk the talk, you walk it. So, and that's what we need to do. That's what we're here to do, is not just walk our walk, but not just talk our talk, but walk it. And we are walking it. I guess me, not just walk my walk, but talk about it, for me, because I do a lot of mine, I keep to myself. I don't talk too much about what I experience. I can see the energy, but for me personally, what personally goes on in the initiations that I personally go through, I don't really talk too much about that. But I will be sharing more and more of that, as we go on through these times. So anything else I want to add on here is just really believing in yourself is one of our key components that we're here. Every single one of us. Believe in yourself. Believe in what God has created for you to be, and don't be shucking from that. People are going to try to shake that and manipulate certain things. There's no manipulating truth. Truth is truth. And, if there's any lies that come through, because there's subtle bodies we have to work with. So there's the mental body, the mental and emotional body. So as you're having more consciousness and more clairaudience, and you're able to hear your subconscious beliefs, the subconscious beliefs or the egoic beliefs are going to be totally contradictory to what is true and what is right and what God has to say for you. It's going to counteract it. It's going to be counterintuitive for that. It'll be almost complete opposite into what you are trying to program yourself with. So as we're reprogramming some of these neural pathways and some of these old codes and understanding, hey, we've been manipulated by systems and frequencies and and whatever the case may be. We're here and understanding the subconscious beliefs that you carry. More of these happen. So when that happens, you're stepping more up into your higher frequency or your higher awareness, understanding your higher self, if you will. So more of your soul essence is being embodied in your physical vessel, right? And as we're embodying your soul essence, your Christed essence, you'll notice when the energetics around you try to manipulate, control. And this is it's a very odd place to be because you can feel it, you can see it, you can hear it, and, wiping that out. So this is why I've created my healing course. It's a mastery healing course, basically, and it's going to assist in navigating as these codes and these gifts unlock. And as each gift unlocks for every person, it's going to look different. And with tones and frequencies, we can clear out a lot of these lower aspects, a lot of these lower entities. In all actuality, everything is here to help us. Everything is here to help us. Nothing is undoable. Nothing is too hard. Everything, once you dedicate yourself to God, once you dedicate yourself fully to your walk, everything is essentially here to assist us. Every trigger, every time you get angry, every time you maybe feel something, fear come up, okay, what are you showing me? And I've taught a lot about that in my other videos. Healing deeply, all that has everything in it. So when we're fully engaged and fully immersed here, and going through your other initiation, your higher initiation phases, you're understanding how to navigate these other realms, basically. So those of you who are interested in my healing course, it's going to be something like you've never experienced before. I'm going to go over the elements. It's so important to me personally to work with elements, earth, fire, water, air, to really understand that has been key, and to really work with those. The healing course, it's not for everybody, but I do have something for everybody. So if you haven't worked with elements, I have an element energy course that is essential to start, would be a great starting place. And then once you gain that understanding, then you could go into the Mastery Healing course. Those of you who are ready, the Mastery Healing course will provide the elemental course within it. The Mastery Healing course is going to go over just basically different tools and techniques that I use, how to program yourself into your highest state, clearing out your old energies, how to body scan, how tones help us, light language activations, and just frequency toning, how these can assist us, and just different ways that I navigate through it. I will be creating certain light language frequency tones for everybody to have to listen to. My light language is something that I listen to nightly, just about. It helps to clear a lot of things out, and it also assists in awakening and activating gifts, your DNA. It's just the frequency that I hold. as who I am, my bloodline, the lineage that I come from. It is, to me, it's really important to understand your lineage, to understand your ancestry and what it is that you hold. For me personally, like, I know a lot of star seeds are just like in the stars and all about their star lineage. But for me, it's been really strengthening to know my ancestral lineage, the my indigenous roots that I have are so strong. And if you come from indigenous background or whatever background that you come from, I do personally feel that it is important to work with your ancestral lineage line and line that up with your God frequency. There's a lot of gifts that we can gain from accessing our ancestral lineage, our line. So a lot of us come from a very sacred bloodline. So anyways, if this healing course is something that you would like to dive more deeper into, I am providing this service. I haven't came with a date yet, so I'm hoping in the next maybe a week or two I'll have a direct date. But if you would like more information, I do have an email that I can send out to you, and you can make payments or pay for the course when you're ready to. So thank you. Have a blessed rest of the month. You may need to listen to this message a couple of times so to get the full activation and understanding. And those of you who would like to work with me one-on-one sessions, I'm available. I also do distance email type of reports to assist you in navigating through whatever it is that you're going through right now. Remember, you're not alone. We're all going through this. Remember, everything is energy. Everything is energy. If you have a beloved that you're connected to in sacred relation, union that God has really placed in your heart, remember that that is all about energy. It's nice to have a nice energy flow and understanding with that person that is dear to your heart. Me personally, just having just complete compassion and understanding that I have with the one that God placed in my heart, and I know that's in return within Him. So this is a sacred dance that I believe God has created with certain sacred unions. Some label this as twin flame, but this is about energy too. And it's so important to have compassion and understanding in sacred unions. So, anyways, I just felt like adding that in there, that piece. Because we're all in this together, and remember that just everything is here for us, to grow, to understand, and to be more of you. And this healing course that I have created, it does that. It's just going to be getting all the stuff out of the way and really powerful tools, really powerful tools to use. So thank you so much. Many blessings. And email me if you need me. Thank you.